Hey, we control your bodies. Hi, I'm your Republican congressman. It's your body, my choice.
Yo, 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 it's your boy, Lynx, back at it again with a drama so wild it starts with a tweet, escalates into suburban warfare, and ends up with Nick Fuentes facing battery charges. That's right, this ride has everything. Bad decisions, legal drama, and enough trolling to make Tekashi 6ix9ine jealous. So, what happens when the internet's most controversial troll meets a suburban mom with more curiosity than self-preservation? Buckle up, we're diving into a saga where everyone's a clown and the drama is hotter than a Chicago deep dish fresh out of the oven. First, let's talk about Nick Fuentes. If you don't know him, congratulations on having a happier life than me. Fuentes is a self-proclaimed Christian nationalist, which is basically white supremacy wrapped in a Bible cover. This guy's built his brand on being the poster boy for far-right extremism, with enough controversies to fill a book that nobody would ever want to read. Charlottesville in 2017, he was right there with the Tiki Boys. January 6th, he was there at the Capitol encouraging people to go in. And let's not forget about his infamous dinner at Mar-a-Lago with Donald Trump and Kanye, where they probably bonded over who could say the worst thing on camera. Oh, and did I mention his online persona? Fuentes runs a platform where he spews conspiracy theories, anti-Semitism, and misogyny, all while calling himself a political influencer. Spoiler alert, being banned from almost every major platform doesn't make you edgy, it makes you irrelevant. The point is, if there's a toxic headline, odds are Nick Fuentes is lurking in the background like an anti-Semitic Where's Waldo. Now that we're acquainted with our protagonist, it's time to move on to the tweet that started this whole debacle. Let's rewind back to November. Trump's fresh off his 2024 election win, and Nick Fuentes, professional controversy magnate, decides it's time to light another fire. He tweets, "Your body, my choice." Now, this wasn't just a random hot take, this was Nick flexing his pro-life stance in the smuggest way possible, directly tying it to the overturning of Roe v. Wade, a move Trump celebrated like it was a touchdown at the Super Bowl. And if you know Nick, you know he wasn't trying to spark a nuanced debate, he was aiming to provoke. But here's the thing about stirring the pot, sometimes that pot boils over. Nick's tweet didn't just spark backlash, it painted a giant target on his back. This wasn't just another bad take, it was a tweet that launched 1,000 trolls. Enter Kiwi Farms. If you don't know them, they're basically 4chan's unhinged cousin, infamous for doxing and trolling campaigns. The second Nick's tweet hit critical mass, Kiwi Farms said, "I bet. Challenge accepted, bitch." Soon, Nick's home address was circulating, and trolls didn't stop there. Reports of flaming bags of dog poop, prank deliveries, and other bizarre harassment tactics flooded in. And listen, let's be clear, doxing is trash behavior. No one deserves to feel unsafe in their own home, not even a professional instigator like Nick Fuentes. But let's not just pretend that this came out of nowhere. Nick has spent years pushing boundaries and thriving on outrage. When you make your name by throwing grenades into cultural discourse, don't act surprised when one blows up in your backyard. Meanwhile, in a quiet Chicago suburb, 57-year-old Marla Rose sees the leaked address and decides to give the parasites at TMZ a run for their money. Armed with her phone and a burning curiosity, she skips the obvious choice of literally anything else and dives headfirst into amateur detective mode. Because when you hear a fucking neo-Nazi might live in your neighborhood, the rational response is to investigate like a dodo staring down the barrel of a shotgun, obviously. But here's the thing you need to know about Marla Rose. She isn't new to this bullshit. I stumbled across an interview hilariously titled, "Vegan Marla Rose Will Punch You in the Face," where she gleefully recounts turning a fancy vegan Thanksgiving dinner into something straight out of Jerry Springer. Let me set the stage. 15 years ago, she's at a banquet when some guy rolls in wearing a fur-lined coat. Naturally, Marla and her friend aren't having it, so her friend slaps a sticker on him that says, "I'm an asshole, I wear fur." You know, like normal, well-adjusted people do. But it doesn't end there. When the guy retaliates by, understandably, calling her friend a bitch for fucking up his coat, Marla says she saw red and, in her words, not mine, shoved him so hard he went flying like Almighty Zeus. Then her husband swoops in like a Marvel superhero, intercepting a punch mid-air and pushing the guy out of the banquet hall while yelling, "Who the fuck wears a fur coat to a vegan Thanksgiving?" And then, presumably, everyone clapped because this whole thing reads like a middle school fan fiction. Assuming this is real, I honestly feel bad for the husband. Imagine being married to someone who turns Thanksgiving into a WWE match over a jacket. What type of psychopath does this? Look, I'm all for standing up for your beliefs, but this isn't activism. It's chaos masquerading as principle. So when Marla claims she was just documenting the docs, I call bullshit. This was not about curiosity. It was about clout. Showing up to a doxed internet provocateur's house isn't just reckless, it's downright foolish. You're not Chris Hansen, Marla. You're not solving the case of the century. You're putting yourself in danger over a tweet. It's like putting your hand in a mousetrap to see what happens. Except in this case, the mousetrap has pepper spray. The evidence is clear. Marla doesn't just stumble into drama. She sprints toward it like there's a Black Friday deal waiting for her at the finish line. So with introductions out of the way, it's time to see how this juicy confrontation unfolds. I suggest you get some popcorn because it's about to get primal. And while you're at it, you should hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying the video thus far. So here's how it all went down. Marla approaches Nick's porch, phone rolling, probably hoping to catch him red-handed with a Kanye West signed MAGA hat. But before she can even ring the doorbell, bam! The door bursts open and there's Nick Fuentes, pepper spray in hand, ready for battle. Before words can even be exchanged, bam! He unloads all over her face. But he's not done yet. Before she can grab her bearings, he shoves her to the ground, and while she lie there, helpless as a sack of flour, his Chicago roots kick in and he can't help himself but to snatch the phone right out of her hands. Before she even knew what hit her, he had already scurried back inside like a racist cockroach when you turn on the lights. Honestly, it's almost comical how prepared this guy was. It's like he's been camping at the front door all day, waiting for this exact moment. But let's be real, this wasn't just overkill, it was illegal. Pepper spraying someone unprovoked, that's assault. Stealing her phone, that's theft. Nick didn't just defend his home, he escalated the situation to a whole new level of ridiculous. But of course, that didn't stop the Groyper defenders from crawling out of the woodwork. Tristan Tate chimed in with his galaxy brain take. If a man showed up to a pro-choice woman's house, she could shoot him dead and no one would care. Right, because nothing screams credibility like a guy with more charges than I have YouTube subscribers. But wait, Candace Owens also had to get her 2 cents in, claiming Marla was lucky she wasn't in a stand your ground state. Let's pause for a second. First off, are we seriously taking legal advice from Tristan Tate? The guy and his brother are literally being investigated for sex trafficking, and Candace Owens' biggest claim to fame is being a washed-up ex-Daily Wire host. Also, her husband, suspiciously enough, is very friendly with the aforementioned accused sex traffickers. So yeah, not exactly a group of people I would trust to give legal counsel. Honestly, these people are grasping at straws. Considering these are supposed to be the people who are very much pro-gun rights, their ignorance of how self-defense laws actually work is embarrassing. Stand your ground doesn't mean shoot first, ask questions later. Even in states where it does apply, you still need to prove that you were facing a credible, imminent threat, not just somebody knocking on your door with an iPhone. The fact that they're spinning this into some type of twisted political martyrdom is just sad. It's like they're competing to see who can come up with the most unhinged take. Spoiler alert, you all win. Congratulations on being collectively ridiculous. The cherry on top of this whole story is when the law finally enters the chat. Fast forward to December and Nick Fuentes is behind bars, facing battery charges. In his defense, he told police he's been receiving death threats and feared for his life. But let's be real, if he was so scared, why didn't he just stay inside? Instead, he came out swinging, literally confirming his docs in the process. First off, Illinois isn't a stand your ground state, so that defense doesn't fly, and even in states where it is, you can't just preemptively attack someone for walking up to your door. If this became the standard of behavior, then selling Girl Scout cookies would become an extreme sport. Nick's argument is as weak as his mugshot, so let's get on to the bigger picture of this whole thing. This story isn't just about Nick or Marla, it's a reflection on how internet culture is bleeding into real life in the worst ways. Tweets are turning into battlegrounds, and people are taking online beef way too far. On one side, you have a provocateur who spent years stoking fires and is now crying victim. On the other hand, you have a suburban mom who is way too invested in online commentary. Both of these people cross lines, and both of them paid the price. The real issue here is that the internet's eroded our boundaries. When public and private lives blur, it leads to chaos like this. So maybe next time, let's leave the drama on the timeline where it belongs. So, what did we learn today? Your actions have consequences. Just because you're making a post online doesn't mean you're insulated from real-world consequences. And just because you're angry at someone's online take doesn't give you the right to go invade their personal privacy. Always remember that the energy you give to the world is the same energy the world will give right back to you. What side are you on in this story? Let me know in the comments below. Also, what consequences do you think Nick will face for this event? You think he'll go to jail or what? Anyway, that's all from your boy Lynx. Let me know what other events you want me to cover. Don't get doxxed. Peace.